welcome to the Scene Weekly podcast, where we harken back to our college debate days and pick two movies with the same theme as we toss the garland, crack open some eggnog, and burn a log in the fireplace while entertaining all your family you haven't seen in the last year. This week's episode is focused on the best Christmas movies, as Scrooge gets an attitude adjustment with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Come join the two of us for whatever the hell this is, Stephen, but happy holidays and
bah humbug.
Or
welcome to our world. How about that?
And
there we go.
Happy Christmas, as I'm stealing your line. I thought I softballed that, but
that's true. You did.
Happy. There.
I mean, this is going to come out right around Christmas time, and it's very. Do you feel festive in the season right now?
I feel very much like Bill Murray and Scrooge as of today. Nothing seems to be going too great. I broke my boom mic. My monitor that I normally use seemingly is broken. I was late to record I don't know. Something's going on. Do you think any ghost
visiting you?
Do you think a ghost is going to show up? I hope not. Like a ghost in a basement for some reason is like way scarier than a ghost like anywhere else. Because
I think ghost basement, ghost attic, those are the two scary ones. But like a ghost in the kitchen, I mean,
make me an egg souffle. Not too scary, So I might have to be, I don't feel like I should move anything at this point, including my own body, but. If we blow this up.
I do want to see that sweater that you're donning for Christmas here. This is Santa on a can, a toilet, if you will, taking a shit.
Or he could be peeing sitting down.
True, that's one possibility.
I know
I doubt that he is.
You don't think Santa is one that actually cares for other people's like habitats and where they use the restroom and their cleanliness and their hygiene?
I think him and Mrs. Claus, they have a deal worked out. They have two separate bathrooms where, they can do their thing.
That's very presumptuous of you. I will say this. I had never seen Scrooged. Yeah, I thought I did. Never did.
So you probably knew nothing about the story and the setup, like A Christmas Carol or anything like that, right? You didn't know what was going to happen.
I knew exactly what was going to happen. Strangely enough, feel like I've seen this one before, kind of thing. And then turns out I didn't. Yeah,
I just gotta say, this is kind of like the unofficial year of podcasting here, because our first unreleased podcast was a Christmas episode.
And what was that about, Stephen?
Round. I think we did Home Alone and Christmas Vacation. I think those were the two.
And I think we debated on whether, we debated Die Hard, strangely enough, and Love Actually having its name in the hat. And I think we both agreed that Christmas Vacation, if memory serves, was the greatest Christmas movie ever.
Yeah. Opinions change in a year. Things happen. You look at things in a different way. You get visited by some ghosts. People change.
How have you changed in the last year?
Well, physically, not too much. Haven't really gained, haven't really lost, which I think is a net positive. But I think changing cities is a big thing.
That's interesting. Haven't gained, haven't lost, net positive. The math doesn't seem to work in my brain, but let's keep going.
It's like staying consistent is good. Right.
I like consistency. Not we always talk about consistency. Yeah. We always talk about how that's the key to life, or the success to life. But if you start off consistently bad and continue that consistently, where does that leave you in a year?
Yeah, I mean that could be definitely a net loss in that sense. But I'm trying to look at the glass half full. It's Christmas time, and it's a glass half full of eggnog.
Ooh, do you like eggnog?
I did as a kid. Loved it. I would. That was like one of the biggest things I would look forward to when Christmas came around was, getting that half gallon of eggnog in the fridge and, getting a nice cold glass of it. But now, no, I probably haven't drinking eggnog or anything of the like in the last 15, 20
I
years.
have drank that eggnog for like 15 years. You sound like somebody that really embraced the South. Eggnog is like the greatest thing in the history of life. I can't think of something that is a better drink other than maybe just pure, unadulterated honey being in my mouth and just thinking this is heaven. Eggnog is like, first of all, the fact that they minimize it in these goddamn ass clowns providing it to us in the stores, it should be in a gallon. It could come in a keg. I would take 165 12-ounce pours down my throat all day, every day. Definitely be at a net positive, as is that, am I using that terminology right?
I think
Would
so.
definitely be
Yeah.
at a net positive in the caloric intake. Boy, you could smack me in the face, give me a glass of eggnog, and I would probably kiss you on the lips. Greatest thing ever. Yeah, not you, but
Didn't you back in your college years? I wasn't a part of this because I was already in Atlanta, but I think at West Georgia you
name
did an
dropping.
eggnog chugging contest.
We did. I worked at a nice supermarket called Publix when I was in college and before. And
Shout out
I,
Publix.
I love Publix and went to their key lime pie is the greatest. Had it with you, or did you?
Yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you see me
Pub sub,
consuming it?
key lime pie.
Oh, so good.
I did. Yeah.
We It was Christmas time, the best time of the year, and I'm exiting. I worked in the produce department. They'd scan things out and basically throw things away. And with that said, there happened to be somebody working as a stock person who had stocked the shelves, and there was quite literally in like a corner. They didn't throw them away yet. Um, an outrageous amount of eggnog, maybe 40 to 50 half gallons. So my first inclination is we're going to have immediately an eggnog chugging contest right then and there, basically. And I was
It came to your brain immediately.
instantaneously. And so then in college, which is the most fun thing that you could possibly do, like to get eight people, I think there was 8 of us that did this, to get 8 people collectively together now is an impossible feat. Like with you have children, you have a schedule. I've got to go work out, whatever it might be. I texted and called 8 people, and it was 100% certainty. It was like not even like I didn't have to sell it any
You didn't
greater
have to
than it
convince
was.
anybody.
All
Yeah.
of us just showed up. And we're like, of course we're gonna have a half-gallon eggnog chugging contest. Bring these crates. We have pictures of this too. Remind me, we are definitely going to edit the pictures of us throwing up over barriers into this lovely podcast. There's justification for it. The glee on my face of chugging the eggnog, as you'll see, with my nice, I think I had like a Abercrombie. Anyway, you'll see how ridiculous I used to look. Jeans are actually repopularized now. But I remember looking at, is it Luke? The guy from Australia?
Luke.
His name is Luke.
Yeah.
He evidently had chugged milk before, and I was like impressed because like we're gonna have to like take this little slow and steady. He's gonna win the race kind of thing, but I have a good stomach. Nobody's gonna beat me here. And then I saw him just housing it, and I can chug very quickly. And so I was like, oh, that's it. Like if he's going in, I'm going in. And then I of course won. I think I did it in like 64 seconds or something, which half the time was me like thinking that I needed time to do it. When I think you do in a gallon situation, but not in a half gallon. Half gallon, just you can just rip through it. But nonetheless, we realized it's over like 2,000 calories, and we should probably all throw it up because we're runners, or we were at the time. I'm still a runner, and maybe not be the best. Coach was
How many people out of the 8 chucked it up?
Well, there were people who naturally just threw up, and then the rest of us just forced ourselves. Like myself, I forced myself to throw up.
Did it taste the same going back up?
Yeah, delicious.
Like, did you have that kind of cinnamon, nutmeg?
Delicious,
kinda...
right? It's the best thing to throw up in the world because it's like still like kind of coated your stomach. It's still like that viscous feeling, that oil. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of one of the reasons I saw those photos and I was like, I'm good on the eggnog.
Re-oiling the pipes. But I will say this. I didn't have a punchline.
What are you going to say?
I didn't have a punchline.
Oh,
Yeah. I love Christmas, and
um,
I love Christmas movies, by the way. Um,
I do too. What are some of your other go to holiday classics?
you know, I oscillate on Elf. I like it. It's
Okay,
enjoyable.
it can be too much sometimes,
A little too
right?
much,
It's kind of strikes that nerve, but it gets under your
but Home
skin.
Alone is just. I don't have to say anything about Home Alone. Terrific. Miracle on, was it 34th Street? It's
Miracle on
okay.
34th, the original, the OG.
Yeah. But what about you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of right there. I go back and forth on like the movies that are set on Christmas but don't really have a Christmas message,
Die
like the
Hard?
Die Hards or the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Yeah, are those really Christmas movies?
I mean, Bruce Willis said that it's not Die Hard.
Yeah, but he could say one thing and the masses could say something
Nope.
else.
When Bruce Willis talks, you listen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you can run around in a movie barefoot while holding, multiple machine guns and steadily have that wife beater, that tank top just get dirtier and dirtier, throwing people out buildings and screaming at the top of your lungs without losing your voice, you have deserved my attention to say that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It happens to be set there around the time, but it's not Christmas themed. Although maybe it is because there is some celebrations happening. Is Eyes Wide Shut a
That's
Christmas
true.
movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that what you do with your family on Christmas?
uh,
I missed that one. We were hanging
there,
out on Thanksgiving. I should have come for Christmas.
yeah, Christmas is a little touchy.
Mama Claus got that good present coming my way. Do you guys also do the movie theater like on Christmas Day or before or after?
The movie theater? Yeah, I
Go
would
to the movies.
go to the movies. Yeah, it would be me trying to, every so often, like I would convince them that there was this movie that was. I remember one year. Gosh, it was like
Gosh
2011,
darn it.
2012. I got the whole family to go to the movies on Christmas Day because I really wanted to see this comedy. And it was like one of the most uncomfortable movies. It was a funny movie, but it was like one of the most uncomfortable movies because it's not a family film. But it was Dewey Cox, Walk Hard. I don't know if you've ever seen
No,
it, but
I
it's great.
no.
It's a great movie.
Why would you? I don't know. You're supposed to choose
it was a
family forward movies, no?
yeah. Like this year, I would go see Nosferatu.
It's like
that's gonna be.
It's kind of like
that's gonna be the.
peeing standing up. It's not very considerate.
You got to be conscientious. Yeah. I get that. Now I've learned my lesson. But this year I'm going to go see a movie on Christmas Eve, and it's going to be actually Die Hard. And I got my ticket and everything. So
Wait, Die Hard is out in theaters
here in
again?
LA. LA has all these repertoire theaters where they just show old movies all the time. So it's happening.
How are we going to do this? Scrooged versus the governor of National Lampoons. It's so funny that they used to just add National Lampoons before it. What happened to National Lampoon? Did it become like Country Like I don't know, State Lampoon? It just like minimized itself. We need more. We need like a new Christmas Vacation now. It's been enough time. 1989. Yeah. It's been long enough.
That's yeah. Well, I mean, what did we have in the? We had Las Vegas, right? That was pretty bad. National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, I think it was.
Was it bad? You think so? It's been a long time. Was it really that bad?
It was not. I think the National Lampoons, the top tier, the top two are the first two, which is Family Vacation and Christmas Vacation, and then everything else after that kind of fell by the wayside. They tried to do another vacation one with like Ed Helms.
Yeah,
remember that from The Office?
Yeah.
I never watched it, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah. But anyway, why don't you talk about Scrooged first, and we'll go into the governor next.
Yeah, so Scrooged. This is a 1988 Christmas fantasy black comedy, directed by Richard Donner, who we kind of recently just talked about. He did the Lethal Weapon movies. He did Superman. This was the movie he did between Lethal Weapon 1 and Lethal Weapon 2. So kind of
Hmm.
interesting pick there.
Hmm.
But it's based on the 1843 novella A Christmas Carol by your boy Charles Dickens. Uh, and I think it's probably the most adapted story of all time, wouldn't you say?
I'd have.
Like a singular story.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
think
mean, plays,
I think
movies,
the
TV
story of
shows,
Jesus in the manger probably has some carryover, like more significance. But that's the whole story is
maybe.
not just the Jesus in a manger. I
Those are
don't.
both Christmas stories, though. Funny enough. um,
Chasing Beaver though, what an intro! Like terrific. Anytime you can say Chasing
the,
Beaver in a line, you got me. And it's the
you
intro
got
to the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Goodness.
I do have to talk about this intro. I mean, it's kind of like a rug pull moment where you're like, wait, we're starting in the North Pole, and we're seeing Santa load up a rifle and start shooting all these guys. Like, what's going on
I
here?
wish that were the
But
movie.
this,
Like I actually do want to.
you,
I do want to watch that movie.
do you remember what the movie was called?
No, I do not.
The Night the Reindeer Died. That needs to be a movie. You know how like they did the Grindhouse, like they've turned some of those trailers into movies, like Machete
Yeah.
and Thanksgiving. They need to
Thanksgiving.
do that with this.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Eli Roth did a Thanksgiving film
Didn't
a
he
few
do
years ago.
Hostel?
Yeah, he did Hostel as well, I believe. Yeah, but anyways, this is 100 minutes. It stars Bill Murray, Karen Allen, John Forsythe, Bobcat Goldthwait. We don't get enough Bobcat anymore. Robert Mitchum. Music is by Danny Elfman, uh, as you may know from Batman and a lot of Tim Burton team ups. 32 million versus $100 million budget. Rotten Tomatoes
What? Wait,
70
what? Are you
77%.
sure?
Sure about what?
The budget?
32 mil and it made 100 mil.
Oh, wow. Wow.
40 million overseas.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a
pretty good.
pretty large budget. It's probably shot for the Killing of the Reindeer movie. Like all of it.
It's over most of it. 6 million was for Bill Murray to get back into acting. He took pretty much like 2 years off. He like retired from acting.
Wow.
But he was like peak. Like this is Ghostbusters. Bill Murray. This was that time frame, right? 2 years after that. But yeah, I mean, plot. It's like okay, I'm gonna talk about a plot that you've never heard of, right? It's A Christmas Carol. Frank Cross is a TV ruthless executive. He's the youngest president of IBC Television, but he lives alone with no wife and kids. It's Christmas Eve, and IBC is about to air their holiday special, live, A Christmas Carol, very meta. On a Christmas Eve, he's visited by three ghosts. Ghost of Christmas present, past, and future. And they take Frank on a journey through his life, kind of show him what happened and what he lost along the way and what he could potentially be down the road. But yeah, I mean, it's A Christmas Carol and it's with Bill Murray as the Scrooge character. And it's great.
Have you ever been a Scrooge on Christmas?
No, I'm like the Tiny Tim, I'm like, God bless us, everyone.
Gosh darn it. Have a jolly good Christmas, guys. You seem like the Tiny Tim type.
Yeah. Thanks. What about
Keyword
you? Are you
tiny ladies?
Are you more Grinch?
Oof. We're gonna be in a very warm place here in a second for our Christmas. But I would say in the past, no, not a Scrooge. Yeah, just trying to make things move along. I would say now having a young daughter, there's nothing that really changes on a day to day basis, other than the fact that you have to open not lots, some presents. But the same things happen as if it's a weekend. You get to watch some things on the TV, get a lollipop here, or two or
You play
three.
some Christmas music in the
And
background.
there's no Christmas music
Right?
actually happening in our house. Yeah, strangely enough. Which does that make it Christmas then, or not Christmas?
I
This
mean,
is
it
a
definitely
philosophical
creates
quandary.
the mood. I play Christmas music
Huh.
like this whole week.
This is
I've been
difficult.
playing Christmas music.
Oof, this is like, going to therapy right now for me. Is it really Christmas if you're not playing Christmas music? I don't think
Did you
you've had
decorate the
Christmas.
house?
No. Oh, we do. Yes, we have a tree, a
Okay.
Christmas tree.
Ornaments,
Yeah,
lights.
yeah. So it's decorated. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That
okay.
counts, right? But we're
Are you
we're not
are
the.
you doing any
We have people down the
are you doing any
street that pay like $2,000 to have their whole house in lights. And I just think of the 25,000 lights, not to rip off, going to my movie, the Italian lights. Those people exist. Like they go all out for Christmas.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you? Do you put garland? Do you have like a wreath on your door?
No, I don't even have a wreath. The only thing that I have is this little Santa that you can kind of see over
I can't
here.
see that Santa,
Um,
but I believe you.
yeah.
You seem like you would be Tiny Tim, but yeah, I guess I'd be the Scrooge. I'll say the Scrooge.
Do you are you starting any like Christmas traditions, or did you have that as a kid? Like,
We had lots of
you know,
Christmas traditions, like we'd open a present up on Christmas Eve, for example. That doesn't exist. All of the Christmas traditions that I did growing up do not exist in our family now. I would actually say I've adopted Christmas and Thanksgiving traditions in that we've gotten rid of completely the idea of turkey. I don't even remember if we ever have had turkey, but we do kalbi. So like it's like Korean focused now, which is so much better. If you just like cook steak basically on the grill, it's terrific. Like both for Thanksgiving purposes and for Christmas. Um, but yeah, the whole cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving needs to go. I know we're talking about Christmas, but I would say generally speaking, all of the stuff I grew up with as a kid is gone. It's all gone.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
I mean, traditions are nice, but like if you can find something better,
yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. You
Calbee,
can up.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 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 Which is better to be abundantly clear. And I have to ask, have you ever in New York City been splashed by a taxi cab?
You know what? Not in New York City. I don't think so, but I've definitely like been splashed. Like I used to, run on the streets a lot, and it would rain in Georgia. And there'd be times where a car would come by, and there's a puddle of water and get splashed. But yeah, not in New York City. What about you?
Did you run the streets when you were running the streets? On the streets?
I was a deputy. I didn't really like run them.
But I shot the deputy. That was you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
actually been splashed. I would say multiple times been splashed by taxis. It's not the most fun
How
fun in
rude.
the world. Yeah, yeah, going to work, for example. But I have prevented after having multiple, probably three good splashes. Bring in an umbrella and like a ninja.
Shielding yourself?
Yeah, shielding
Yeah.
yourself and just like ducking down and like it barely hitting your shoes or something. That's one of the greatest feelings on earth. Strange enough, this does actually
That's
happen. It looks like this only happens in the movies. That happens frequently. Not fun. Not fun.
that's when you know you've like lived in New York a long time, when you have the umbrella
Maybe.
skills
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
block a shot of water. Um, but yeah, I mean, Bill Murray is great in this role. He's so unlikable and does so many like just like Scrooge in the classic sense is like this miser who's just very greedy and doesn't want to pay anybody and like bah humbug. But Frank Cross is like goes out of his way to like be mean and kind of cruel um,
Yeah. I mean, he has
throughout
a
like
past history,
90% of the movie. Yeah, I mean
childhood
his history
trauma.
we get to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, childhood trauma. He was pretty much raised by television. His memories are of like TV shows and things like that. He doesn't have like a real actual childhood memory
Actually,
because he's trying to block it out. I
man, I
believe.
actually feel for that. I mean, TV. If you've been raised by TV, and you can see this firsthand in children that have been, but it's pretty devastating. Like wholesomely devastating to not have human interaction in your life and guidance and kind of a framework of like morality to some extent, which it's gonna you're gonna base your decisions on. Imagine like the morality that you are downloading from society being completely transferred and transfixing you from the perspective of a television and the characters of that television show. Let's say it's like a soap opera. Could you imagine? I guess Golden Girls would be pretty good, like as a structure. Did nothing but watch Golden Girls growing up, and I'm great.
That's a good show.
Some of those, more worse down the rabbit hole than others. But I guess I'll get completely off topic. What is your favorite stocking stuffer? Or more on topic.
I mean, I could go the Mitch Hedberg line.
You can. You should. You should have done it already.
Yeah. A severed foot is the ultimate stocking stuffer. It's just so great. I mean,
I miss him.
Yeah. Every Mitch Hedberg, one of the best. But anyways, stocking stuffer, like legitimately, I would be excited. I would always get like a pack of baseball cards. Be excited about opening those.
My favorite part about opening a baseball card pack is the gum.
The gum, yeah. Do
you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah. It would the flavor would last about 10 seconds, and then you have to spit it out. But I don't know. Did you ever get like excited about a gift under the tree, and then when you opened it up, you were like disappointed?
There was a lot of fights between my mother and father when I remember having presents under the tree. And so not really, because it was just like you ask for a gift throughout the year and maybe you got, no, not really. Yeah. I did. Actually, there was one example. I remember my brother got from my aunt a key and lock safe that was like
that's
this large.
gift.
And I was like 6, and I was angry he got that. It's the dumbest gift ever, first of all. Like, what am I going to put in here?
Why would you be angry?
And I remember being very sad that he got a safe and I didn't get a safe.
Wow.
I even think I complained about the color. It's like, well, he's got the red safe. Really wanted that red safe. So dumb.
Do you own a safe now? Is that something that you have?
I do. Yeah. I own a safe that's quite larger than that. So screw you, Josh.
Look at you. See, little Jonathan would be so amazed right now about your safe and hope it's red.
So dumb. Oh man.
But yeah, do you you instantly know that this is an evil character by him mixing vodka and tab?
That's
just drinking tab, man.
That's rough. I haven't had tab.
Did you ever drink tab?
Yeah,
Did you ever have tab?
I have had tab. Tab is intense, man. Tab is one of those things that, like, if you really want to chop your leg off in the future, you should probably consume lots and lots of that stuff. Meaning diabetes, because that is, I don't even know what's in it. What's in it? Does anyone know? Nobody probably knows. Nobody knows what's in tab. Wasn't tab created? Maybe I'm confusing things. Was tab created by NASA astronauts?
I don't think so. I haven't done the deep dive on tab.
Fairly certain tab was created by NASA astronauts.
You can still get it in Mexico.
You can't get it here?
They make it there. They distribute it there. Not really. No, you can't find tab.
Interesting.
It's not a very popular drink anymore. In the 80s, I think it was like the new Coke. Like everybody's like, ooh, tab. You're going to tab?
The 80s, man. What a wild time. I have to ask, what's your favorite Bill Murray movie? And I understand that's asking a lot because there's a wide range, but if you were to sit down, the meaning of it, you'd sit with it and like think about it, and I'm not talking about what the world thinks, what you think. Just like,
yeah, I got mine. I got mine in my brain. It's been my favorite Bill Murray movie since I watched it. It's not a very popular pick, but I love it. It's Broken Flowers.
Yeah, that is. It's my favorite. Man, what an ending! Oh my god. It's my favorite performance by him.
Yeah.
But in terms of meaningfulness, like, and sitting with it, man, Ghostbusters is like the jam.
But he's part of an ensemble. It's not
matter.
It's not him.
Doesn't matter if it's an ensemble.
I know. I get that.
Yeah. There's an ensemble in Broken Flowers as well.
Life Aquatic.
Yeah,
It's
there's
true,
other
but
it's like it's
he's
not a
the
one man show
lead.
like swimming to Cambodia. Like,
I'm
what are you talking
saying
about?
there's a difference between the lead and the team. You know,
I'm just saying, Ghostbuster had much more an effect on society and myself than any of his other movies. I mean, Groundhog Day, you could say it's a close second. I would put before Broken Flowers. Performance, yeah, Broken Flowers. Way to go.
did you ever hear what like Bill Murray did? Like I think it was like 10 years ago now or something like that. But like he would just like
Yeah,
wander in
Charleston.
and out of like Charleston and
Yeah,
Austin and like different bars and house parties and Bill Murray's here. He just showed up.
yeah. Don't you have a story
Okay,
about
cool.
this? Yeah.
Me? No, I don't have
Oh,
I don't have
he did this in
an
Austin, and
anecdote.
I know the
But
Charleston and Austin stories. Yeah, so cool.
I've been like there's some videos of the bars and stuff that he goes to, and I've had friends like acquaintances tell me the stories of like, yeah, I saw Bill Murray at this house party. It was wild. He just showed up. Um,
Yeah, he's cool.
but that's something that like if I was like that level of famous, I think I'd want to do that. I think I would want to just like try it
I
out.
think if you're
You
Bill
know,
Murray, it works. I think if you're like Denzel Washington, maybe it doesn't. Like Bill Murray is like
I
quirky
mean,
character. Denzel is like a whole new level
would
of
it be too
fame.
intimidating?
No, it's just like a whole new level of fame. I just think that if people saw Denzel, they would just like Bill Murray is not going to get like the ladies. He's not going to get the ladies in the sense of like they're not going to swarm him. For example, they're like, oh, he's cute, cuddly. Like Denzel, they're like, okay, like here we go.
Bill Murray, you could just go give like a little fist bump, be like, dude, man, what's
Yeah,
up?
and that's
Thanks
it.
for
People would
coming.
be like, Denzel, I
Yeah.
want everything to. I just give me it all, the men and women. So it'd be too intense. I think, time consuming. But Bill could like just peace out and be like, yeah, he's peacing out. He's our Irish exit. Of course, it's Bill Murray. Some depends on the person. Bill, he could pull that off. It'd be easier for him. Um, yeah, but I'll have to say it. 38 minutes and 46 seconds. When the ferry started coming in, I was like, this movie is interesting. It started getting bored. It's like this fairy needs to just get murdered. I was hoping that from the very beginning that gun could be used to shoot her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what can you do? I mean,
Shoot her. You can do something.
shoot her, shoot the fairy.
Yeah. Oh my God, would have killed her like 3 times over. But chasing
That's
beaver,
really
my friend,
violent.
it's what life is, right? Some may say.
Yeah, I just, you know, I think the studio president had a pretty good point about catering TV to cats and dogs. It's a good move. That's a lot of more eyeballs on TV. A lot of people now are just looking at their phones when the TV's on.
That's true. Do you do
Put
that?
it, put it.
You have that issue?
I, I I've done it when like I'm watching like sometimes I'll watch like a sports game and like I'm not really into it. I have my phone out, like football or something like that. I'm not like glued to the TV. I don't do it with these movies. These movies are my sole focus, and I sit there with my eyes wide open, taking notes the entire time.
You know, with my eyes wide shut, I take notes as well. But my friend Dave said, it's people that make the difference. Little people like you.
Like Tiny
Do
Tim.
you have a friend named Dave who thinks like that too?
I I don't know.
Hmm.
Do I?
I don't know.
I don't know where this is going.
I don't know. I mean, that's just it. I think Dave thinks interesting thoughts. But nonetheless, how about we get into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
I do have to just say the turn on Bill Murray and him coming into that final scene and that final speech. That's what makes the movie. It gets you.
Does it?
How yeah.
Does
Come on,
got
man.
you.
If you're that like the Grinch, that kind of evil, that kind of like just bad person, and then you give that speech at the end and like things like, call your old college roommate, call your whatever orthodontist, like just this is the time of the year to be just a little extra nice, to have that smile. I love it, man. It gives me chills.
You ever been to the orthodontist?
I have, yeah. I fucking hate it.
4 years man. I had to wear braces from the age of 9 to 13.
Before I got braces, I had to get a spacer. Do you know what that
I
is?
do. Yeah.
To put a little thing in your mouth, and you have to crank it every 7 days, and it's just spaces out your teeth so they can get. Oh, it's just, and you have a
Merry
big gap for a little while.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Do you know how they say
Yeah.
Merry Christmas in Korean?
Oh, do tell. I have no idea.
Merry Christmas. So pretty much the same.
You have to say. You have to say it with that pitch. You can't say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I don't know. I don't think I'm just saying it in the ways that I've heard it, I guess. Yeah, the speech was good. Yeah, he changed. It's a story that's been done over and over and over and over. And to be honest, I was more of a Scrooged after watching it, to be fair. But nonetheless, going to the best Christmas movie of all time, 97 minutes, and it's Jeremiah, I don't know how to say his name, Chechik, 1989 PG-13, slapping some sticks comedy, the 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, the $5 million budget, and $73 million in the box office. And if the synopsis is not enough for you, then you can go, gosh darn it, F yourself. As the holidays approach, Clark Griswold, the greatest name of all time, wants to have a perfect family Christmas. Does he? So he pesters his wife, Ellen, and children as he tries to make everything is in line, including the tree, the house decorations, and pretty much everything in existence, including his neighbors. However, things go a little south, to say the least. His hick, are we still allowed to say that now? Is that acceptable? I'm from the South. I'm
Hick is
probably
okay.
hick too. His hick cousin, Eddie, played by Randy Quaid. Where has he gone? Like, where is Randy Quaid? Is he alive? Randy Quaid?
I believe so.
Every time I watch this, I'm like, I need more of Randy Quaid in my life. And if he is dead, I'm horribly
Uncle Eddie.
fantastic. And his family show up unplanned. What a great time to show up unplanned, to just, the Christmas vacation time. Show up unplanned and start living in their camper. Even better situation on the Griswold property. Even worse, though, Clark's employers renege on the holiday bonus that he actually needs to build a pool in the backyard. Who, regrettably, at the end of the movie, promised he would be making it with that bonus. Boy, does this movie have a few lines. And my friend Dave said it may be the most quotable movie of all time. I don't know about that, but it's just something my friend Dave said. What are your thoughts?
Who's your friend Dave? I don't know who this is.
I mean, you've met him. Like, you've literally stayed in the apartment that I've been roommates with my friend Dave. So I don't know.
This is that thing you were talking about. Okay.
This week's episode is sponsored by Soul Roots Running Company, where you can find the best covers for your feet that make you travel comfortably and quickly across sidewalks like Shell Silverstein. Soul Roots offers all varieties of running shoes, clothes, and accessories. And for 10% off, please use the code SCENE, SCENE, at checkout. And any order over $180 is free to ship anywhere in the continental United States. Head over to shop.soulrootsracing.com and fill up your cart for 10% off with the code SCENE. I will say this. My friend Dave did not say this to me, but I am saying this to myself. I laughed. I'd have to go back and, really look through the lines of things here. It's something we've debated about, but like lines in movies, the Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss his ass,
Kiss my
is like top 10 probably quotes from, it's number one, maybe it for me, number one, like Christmas line, but like that, it's so good, where there's like a kind of like a break in character and the break of the fourth wall, and like there's a transition where he's able to say whatever he wants. Terrific. It's so good. Rewound it like 5 times.
It's fantastic. And yeah, he gets away with it because nobody's really paying attention.
But my friend Dave said that it wasn't in his top 5, which I think it's a regrettable assertion by him, David.
Oh,
Dave and I are both Norwegian, so we get along well. Old former roommate.
Okay. Do we need to get Dave on this podcast?
No,
like, what's going
he
on?
refused. He refused to come on. He said he doesn't like the sound of his voice. And I said, you have a lovely voice, David. And he said some very uncouth things about his voice and myself, and really especially you. He actually had seen an episode and was like, I don't know if I can go on with that guy. He has done a few things here and there.
I mean, I don't think I'm that obtuse. Um,
I mean, he
you
he
know,
was, he knows a few things about architecture and mathematics, engineering. So the obtuse nature of a personality may be defined differently by other people watching this podcast. But nonetheless, the moon is not the moon. How is the moon in like we see like almost the dark side of the moon in some images. Sometimes it's like the actual moon, like the tidal locked moon, where basically you only see like the one side. Why is the moon different? Can you answer that question?
I mean, it's this moon is the movie starts off as a cartoon, so we're kind of in this like this world like that's almost cartoonish with the comedy. I mean, I was even like thinking like the whole like slapstickness of like the ladder is like a Mr. Bean
It
episode.
is.
Do you know what I
I
mean?
do know what you mean. Yes, and
I love Mr. Bean, by the
me
way.
too.
It's fucking great.
As do I. Stapling your gloves to the. I mean everything that happens to him. Have you ever had a Christmas like this? First of all, yeah, let's go with Christmas. But like, have you ever had one of those Christmases that or days that just never ever seems like it's gonna. You're never gonna like get yourself out of that hole you've dug.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely like it's like you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and everything that you do, everything that happens is regrettable or broken or falls apart. Um, but you just gotta hope that you can push through it. Dave
It's
would.
kind of like being frozen. It's kind of like being frozen from the waist down. That's a tough one. I can't imagine.
Frozen, frozen from the waist down, like paralyzed. What are you talking about?
I mean, in the movie, being frozen from the waist down. Could you imagine though? Like you're just frozen, or like here when you actually are people that climb Everest or like go hiking in the woods and it happens to be very cold. They actually start taking off their clothes, thinking
Now, why is that? What does that
it's like
do?
too hot when you're like freezing to death, and they just take off their clothes. So they're often. Could you imagine like skiing down a mountain, just being like, "Oh, there's a naked dude." Must have had a tough time at the end. It'd be a weird
It'd be
one.
weird, but
Be a strange one.
yeah. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs. This movie's about the suburbs in Christmas time, and this is, I mean, a lot of it hits home because this is,
Really?
yeah, this is
Do you have family members like old Randy Quaid, Uncle Eddie, literally
and
overflowing their camper with shit and pushing the radioactive material basically onto your front lawn? Do you ever do that to somebody, or
not
had it done
not
to
not
you?
the specifics of that. No, the camper and the cousin just coming in unannounced. No, I haven't had that. But just living in a suburb and trying to put up the Christmas decorations, and I can only imagine like the stress that my parents had to go through to try and make sure that Christmas was great, making the meals, everything like that, like uh, planning the Santa letter, eating the cookie in the middle of the night. They did the whole thing. I believed in Santa for a long time.
Do you still?
Do we have to talk about this?
We do, but I would have to say I was a early adopter of Santa Claus not being real. I was told, I can't remember who actually spoiled it for me, but I went in ahead and spoiled it for the whole family, all of whom were younger than me, which is fun, a lot of
Oh,
fun. It's like
that is so
there's only a few
mean.
times in your life you can spoil something like so and like just ruin somebody's childhood existence. But also they can grow up. So I thought a very adaptable moment of people coming of age. It's a good coming of age story that I was able to provide to people. It didn't go over well with the whole family. Did not go over well. I think I was
Who was most upset?
7 or 8. Jonathan, same name as me, did not enjoy that conversation. We were in New Jersey. I think I got received word. Who told me? Somebody, I can't even remember who told me. Which that should be more of it. It's funny that like the significance is like me just ruining it for other people, more than like getting the
Whoever ruined it
information.
for you?
But I was like 7 or 8, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. Even in Jesus and like the whole story of like religion didn't make sense when I was like, 5 years old. But this, I was like, I haven't caught my parents or my family up until now, but this doesn't seem, something's off. But yeah, I told everybody. Jonathan did not. I was reprimanded by all of the adults in the family. But we were in New York City actually at the time that it happened, which is
For telling the
even
truth,
worse.
you were reprimanded for telling the truth.
If somebody were to tell the truth 100% of the day, we all know that wouldn't just end too well. I mean, But anyway, I love this movie. I love the feeling of it. I think it really and truly represents everything that Christmas actually is, and the good things and the bad things. Ultimately, yes, there's only about 5 minutes and a sliver of good things that do exist in terms of receiving a bonus after not, being fired. But before that was a huge swath. Swath is not even the word, but basically an inundation and swimming in a cesspool of shit is what I would consider it, of a Christmas. The lights don't work, and all he wants to do is get those lights to work. He stapled his finger to get those lights to work. He didn't have his old Uncle Eddie stop by randomly, which probably isn't one of the more offensive things to ever exist. To be honest with you, like, and you're in the midst of like trying to deal with uncomplicated figures with people already over it.
You can't say no, can you?
You can't.
He couldn't say no.
But yeah, and then Grace, my friend Dave said, Grace, she passed away 30 years ago. Oh, the blessing. Also, fantastic line. I love the lines that lead to confusion or lead from confusion and manifest itself in like there being a good line, especially at the crux and directness of an old person just misunderstanding something simply. Grace, she died 30 years ago. The blessing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Uncle Eddie stands up, hand on heart.
So ridiculous. But I will say as well, in terms of the truthfulness of when family gets together, if you really break it down in terms of like levels of conversation, it's fairly simple. Like, how are you doing? We haven't seen you in a long time, potentially. And if you are updating on medical conditions, it's something that's so paramount. And I have to actually point out the fact I can't see your clock anymore. It's not 8:25. And I'm regretting the situation here. Why is it always like 8:36? Why is it 8:37? Why is it always that time? Is that not a clock?
It's a clock. Just time doesn't exist when we podcast, man. It's just we're in the ether.
It's not the answer I wanted. I even prepped you for this. I need something better. But yeah, it's Christmas. It's Christmas time, and you have to talk about your medical ailments with your family because it wouldn't be Christmas without that. And I don't even think it's a slight exaggeration by the sharing of information. I think that's how people are. Yeah, like Johnny's got cancer, just trying to fight through it, and like, oh yeah, I even talk about this stuff with like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys. Yeah, got this a toe fungus. Got to yank out my toenail. Like, it's very normal, but it just is funny with this concentration being provided through a movie. I think it's accurate. It's very accurate. It's maybe a step into the exaggerated slapstick comedy. I think almost it's
a step.
No,
I
don't know. For example, how many issues do you actually have putting up a Christmas tree or ornaments or like arguments that are actually going to exist? And maybe stapling your thumb or your finger actually does exist. Like, that's very normal things. Now, icicles, tree going through your neighbor's window, things of that nature. Yes. That's an exaggeration, but I think it's very accurate.
Speaking to an attractive woman at a store and keep making, flubs on your lines of, it's a bit nippy in here. Nipply.
Have you ever done that in real life?
No, I've never had like a slip of the tongue.
Never?
No. I don't think so. Maybe
you should.
Maybe I didn't catch it.
Maybe you should. Maybe that's the success to life. Just, as a background though, like if you haven't seen the movie, you should definitely see the movie. I really like on the doorbell. I don't know why. This is like one of the thoughts I had. The doorbell where it keeps getting pressed and it keeps going lower and lower. So it's like setting the tone of like a horror movie almost, like ding dong, Ding dong, ding dong.
I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Loved it. But I will say this. In terms of just thinking back to this time of watching this movie when it came out and thinking of the time, and yes, I am pigeonholing myself into, as what the kids would say, sus. But like, I really enjoyed this time period in life, and there were just no phones. Like, you had to interact with your weird Uncle Eddie, and you're forced to. And there was no, like, you couldn't get out of it. You had to sit there, have a chat. Maybe you go into the other room. I mean, video games barely existed in that manner, but I really enjoy, especially times of holidays with family, when if we could have one where everyone just collectively comes together and is like, here are our phones. You get them back at the end of the day. I think it would be better. And that's one thing I got from this movie, is just how I do actually miss that. And I'm the culprit, probably number one, of trying to interact with BJJ folks or whatever it might be. But like, I think it would be nice if we all came together on a holiday basis and gave up our phones.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, this kind of reminds me of this, again, the stand-up comedian that I saw a clip of the other day, and he's like, yeah, these Gen Z kids, man, like they always want to like dress like they're in the 90s, and they reminisce about like this decade that they never lived in. But you know what, man, try waiting for a bus without a phone.
Yeah,
for 45 minutes. You're just sitting there, kicking rocks, throwing rocks at a sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
just like it was like you don't know how hard that was.
But you didn't think of it as hard.
No, you didn't think it. You're just like, this is it. This is like a boring moment.
You embrace boredom much better.
You embrace boredom, man. And I don't think kids know how to do that anymore. Like, they need this constant, like, it's crazy. Like this constant, like, look, I even like, I see it in all forms of life, but what I liked, and this is what a group of gentlemen did at this restaurant that I used to work at in Atlanta, and they would come every so often, and they would all put their phones in the middle of the table.
That's great. Right?
It was a group of six or seven of them, put their phones in the middle of the table. And the first one that picks up their phone had to cover the bill. That was the rule.
Yeah, why would you pick up your phone then? It's dumb.
Exactly. I mean, it kind of forced everybody to be like, hey, we are having a conversation. We are going to talk to each other.
And I would love to go out with those people, by the way, because then I know that I would never pick up the phone. Because like you text whoever you might. Oh, that's tough. What if you like have a family emergency? But anyway, I'd have to have a caveat here. All right, I've already lost. What am I saying?
I mean, how often do you have a family emergency? Like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
not often. Never. You could, that's a good point.
They could call the restaurant and be like, hey, call the restaurant if you have a family emergency. Have the waiter come over and tell me something. That's the backup plan.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great idea. Need more of that. We just need more of that in our lives. But my friend Dave said, "Can I refill your eggnog, get you something nice to eat, drive you out to the middle of nowhere, and leave you for dead?" Thinks that's number 2 from the best quotes. Number 3, I'd have to look back. Friend Dave thinks
who is this Dave guy?
Thinks the world of this movie though. It may be his favorite movie. My friend Dave. He said a few things about
your friend Dave, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. But again,
do I know Dave? Should I know Dave?
You should know Dave. In 2011, when we were roommates, you came to my 30th birthday party. My roommate was this man. Why are you looking into your left like Dave is there? Is Dave there? Is Dave there? Because my friend Dave said
today,
this would be the weirdest thing ever if Dave is just showing up. Oh, Dave actually exists. He's not a figment of my imagination. I don't think. I do have a friend named Dave. He did say these things, but I will ask you this. I have a few questions in relation to this movie that infuriate me. One in which that really is like unsettling to the extent that if you were to ask me this question, I would have had 5 minutes of a diatribe. Maybe I will. What are your thoughts on iceberg lettuce?
Um, I like iceberg lettuce in certain situations. Like I like an iceberg wedge, like a salad, like a baby
Yeah,
iceberg.
blue
That's not too tight.
cheese. I
It has
understand.
blue cheese, bacon bits, some croutons. But
Do you know what's good about
and
that?
then iceberg. Tell me.
The bacon bits in the blue cheese.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that's what makes the salad, of course.
yeah, because the iceberg fucking
And then
sucks.
well, iceberg if like a nice chilled iceberg that you cut down, shave down, and put on a sandwich, like you put
Can
on
go fuck
like
itself.
a juicy burger.
No,
A bur-
a juicy burger.
juicy.
First of all, oh, we're gonna get into this. I wish we had Andrew on. Andrew and I fully agree on this. The fact that tomatoes, lettuce can go fuck themselves and get off a burger. Like you should never be putting on them on a burger. It just makes it soggy. Iceberg lettuce is ridiculous. Like the fact that it even exists, I think somebody created it to, and like aliens came to Earth predestined. We're like, you know what? We're really gonna have like pull the wool over their eyes, give them iceberg lettuce. I, as a kid, only had iceberg lettuce. I didn't know lettuce, and I was a vegetable lover, mind you. I really liked green peppers and red peppers, and pretty much thought onions were the greatest things in the history of life. But iceberg lettuce, which I haven't had in many years, decades, is the worst thing in the cuisine. Like literally, it may well. Do you serve iceberg lettuce at your restaurant?
Yeah, we even do this thing for people that want to cut out the carbs. They do a lettuce wrap. It's wrapped in iceberg lettuce. The
So
burger.
it's a more resilient, if you will, and it's meaningless. It's tasteless. It has nothing. It's literally named after frozen water that happens to be just strolling through the fucking oceans, and nobody cares about it because there is no camera there. Nobody gives a shit about iceberg. It should be expunged from Earth. Seriously, I'm
Okay, cool.
no, not
Yeah,
cool.
texture might not be your thing,
It's
man.
not texture.
Might
There's no
not be your
taste
thing.
to it. There's no.
It's okay.
I think it has less calories than any other lettuce. I don't even know if that's true, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's got to have less
Net
calories.
positive.
Net positive. If you were to mix an iceberg lettuce with a goat cheese salad, boy, do we have a transfixion of awfulness.
I think you would start having like smoke coming out of your ears. Like it just would be
You add
almost
you
cartoonish at that
add
point.
some smoked Gouda or smoked salmon. You got me. My last meal.
I love smoked
And
salmon.
I will say I guess a couple other things. Have you ever like oiled up a saucer and gone onto the snow?
I mean, I had a toboggan as a kid, and we would do like things of that nature. Yeah, I would do sleds. I don't think I ever oiled anything up. I mean, you see how fast he was going? There was flames.
There were flames, and Sonny Bono would have probably learned a few things that had he watched this, but
too soon.
yeah,
Man.
maybe I don't know. I have you ever hit a tree while skiing? I have. It doesn't feel good.
And it's not fun.
No,
The tree hits back pretty hard.
Everyone that's ever gone skiing, like actually gone skiing, like not black diamonds per se, but like in and out of trees. After that happened, was like, damn, like I've almost been there. Like maybe you wipe out a little too quickly. Don't hit the tree, but I've hit too many trees to the extent that like I actually won't even go skiing anymore. I refuse. But my friend
remember,
Dave loves skiing, like loves, still goes skiing. But I will say this. It's my last quote. It's the most quote
from Dave.
My friend Dave.
His favorite quote. What?
But my friend Dave said, this is a long one, so bear with me. My favorite, his favorite, probably your favorite too if you're watching. Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together. This is a full-blown 4-alarm holiday emergency here. We're going to press on, and we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat ass down the chimney tonight, he's going to find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. My friend Dave said that. Best line.
I mean, that's the best line,
hands down.
When like a movie that you only get one chance to drop the F-bomb, just one, and you nailed it, and the right scene with the right person with the right quote. You didn't have to put it in there. You didn't have to do it, but it was worth it. It's like that cherry on top. Oh my god.
I just love when people go. It just the whole movie built up and built up and built up, basically to that moment, and everyone's giving up on Christmas, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not giving up still, and you're in this with me, and we've come too far, and we're gonna do this live. It's great."
He didn't get his bonus check, man. I'd be pissed too. You know, I don't think I'd do the Uncle Eddie thing and kidnap the boss, but good for him. I mean, Uncle Eddie kind of is looking out. Like that's his gift. He might not do everything the right way, but his heart is in the right place.
Do you have any crazy like family members that you would point to be like, yeah, like Uncle Eddie would be doing that? Because I do. I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes. Here's looking at
I don't have
two of you, and you know who you are. Like,
but
they're the best
that.
people.
I mean, that's
the best people on earth. But like, if you were to be like, I need to get something done, or if you even had like an offshoot comment like this actually happened to me, and they would take matters into their own hands and be like, wait, you went you need to take a moral philosophy course because you went 18 steps extra. Like, come back.
I love you for it.
Come back.
But
like, what's going on? But nonetheless, Christmas movies. Next year we'll do Home Alone. And that's it.
Yeah,
Die Hard.
Home Alone and Die Hard. That'll be on the docket for next year. Maybe we get Dave as a guest. Maybe we can convince him to be like, "Hey, man, there were some great quotes that you provided us."
I asked him to.
I
asked him to be on this podcast, but Dave, he said he didn't want to be on it, and he didn't like to hear his voice.
Well, people say things, but they, actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the people that make the difference. The little people like you, Stephen.
Do you want to just, take me behind the curtain? Like, let me know what's going on here?
That's so good. It's so good. Like, imagine if you were just like in somebody's family house. It's the people that make the difference. Little people like you. It's so good. I want more of slapstick. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a very different slapstick, where they literally had like some slapsticks. But like, I'm a big fan. I think if you were to watch 10 movies in a row that are all slapstick comedy, you'd probably be like, all right, I get it. Like, this is too much. But what a brilliant time of the year. It's the only literal time of the year that I feel that people actually take a legitimate break. And while you do have people driving probably more frequently, there's an actual time where people come together, whether through family or they're just their friends, and collectively kind of unwind to some extent. And to me, that's what Christmas has always really been the best part of, to be fair. I really liked having my family around, and I don't see them enough as of now. I just saw them last month. But with that being said, that is something that I think we as humans just need more of, not only with your family and friends, but the moments of kind of unwinding. This is there's a lot of ups, a lot of downs in the world, but trying to make a realization of like what those ups and downs are is time that is going to be needed to reflect. And so I think the reflection comes when you actually are able to put your phone down, when you're able to hang out with your family and see what's actually important. Not to go off on the weird speech here, but
I mean, this is your Bill Murray Christmas speech moment right here, Jonathan. I love it. It's great.
It's a full-blown emergency. 4-alarm holiday emergency here. We got to press on. And I hope you guys have had the happiest Christmas ever since being anyway.
Man, Chevy Chase. Like, you talk about Bill Murray and like some of your favorite roles with him, but like Chevy Chase right up there, man. Like, he had some just great performances.
This is like, it just is like one of those like Vince Vaughn and Old School, just like defining performances. It was allegedly extremely hard. Christopher Columbus was originally going to direct this, and just, I guess, getting along with him seems like near impossible. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like he has made everyone and their mother very irate in it's too bad, man. Like he is a talent. Like he's a talent like no other. There would be like in comedy acting, like a Bill Murray. I put him up like a Bill Murray, Chevy Chase. Like these are like heavy hitters, top 10 stuff. I'd like to see him in more.
Tough,
Again,
man.
Randy Quaid. I miss Randy Quaid. That character he just created was terrific. Fun times.
Oh, Randy Quaid. Yeah, fun times, man. I mean, when's the last time we talked to Randy Quaid? Was it Independence Day, right?
Yeah, but
great at that too.
Yeah. But I hope you guys
did you
have
know
a
he's
lovely.
Dennis Quaid's brother? Did you know that?
Is he really?
Yeah, they're
I
brothers.
had no idea. I don't think I had any idea.
I mean, talk about like kind of.
Is that a lie? Are you
opposites,
creating
right?
a lie right now? Like your friend Dave said this to you?
This is the truth. I'm actually like I when I spew things on this podcast, if they're unbeknownst to me, they're usually true.
Beknownst to somebody, Dave said that too. But I didn't know that. That's interesting. Quaid.
So yeah. Happy Christmas to everybody. I really do appreciate you. Just getting your phone and watching this YouTube video or listening to us on Spotify, just nestled up to your log fire with a big glass of eggnog. Not a little glass, a big glass. Listen,
a gallon glass. Yeah, we appreciate you. And until next year. And by the way, I think next week I'm going to be physically in Brazil. So we're doing a. Nope. I don't even know the timing of this, but we'll have a nice episode on Brazil coming up.
I think it's Brazil. Yeah. And
after this episode. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
This is accurate. After this episode, we'll do a Brazil-focused theme where you're going to be doing what?
City of God is the movie.
What
are you going to do?
First of all, that's starting off like Shawshank Redemption, to be clear. It's like a top 25 movie for me. And then I had a For You movie that I was going to do, Central Station. And I'm transitioning that away because I want to actually have a clear debate on two unbelievably fantastic movies that, honestly, although you haven't seen one, these two are going to be the hardest. I mean, to be clear, they're both 5-star movies. So you can just get that off the bat. It's just like, is one a 5.5? Is one a 5.4? It's just, it's going to be of the greatest discussion points I think we've had thus far. Of two of the greatest movies, in my opinion. They're both in my top 25. I think, if not, we have to check out my top 25 again. But unbelievable. Brazilian cinema at its finest. And I will be in Brazil. I was going to do this podcast on the beach, but you told me that somebody was going to steal my laptop, which might be good for a clip, but
yeah, it wouldn't be good for the overall production of this podcast, or you could just get mugged. But I hear Brazil, pretty safe place in certain areas. Just don't walk around with a Rolex, like be smart.
I don't have a Rolex. I mean, the Bronx is also safe in some places, but nonetheless, here we are. Anyway, till next week.
Wait. You want to give some ratings?
Oh, you got to do that. But my friend Dave said.
What did Dave say?
Dave said, do you want to go with Scrooge first?
Yeah, I'll go Scrooge. Scrooge, classic Christmas movie, classic Christmas story. Little, fun twist on it. Very meta. Love Bill Murray. Not my favorite Bill Murray performance, but right up there. Pretty solid. But movie wise, story wise, it's a 2.5 for me.
Oh,
2.5 glasses.
Wow. I thought that would have been different. I thought I was being mean. Look at that. I agree wholeheartedly with you at 2.5. I thought, to be honest with you, like I get our rating system like a lot better. Like I think just like go and re-rating everything that we've done previously. But I was like three glasses. I kept thinking three, and I'm just thinking of like
it's not a 3.
I'm thinking like the movie posters that have like 3 stars, and I was like three. No, this isn't 3. It's 2.5. 2.5. 2.5 glasses, and that's that.
And you could go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Joey Diaz. Yeah, so National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, I would say, is honestly, for a variety of reasons, the greatest Christmas movie of all time. That doesn't make it the best movie of all time, but it had such an influential impact on my friend Dave and also on myself. To be honest, Home Alone, huge impact as well. I think the themes of it really carry home to somebody that's not only growing up, but also carry over as like a parent trying to make things perfect. As you were saying, the amount of work that actually goes into Christmas from a parental unit is monumental.
It's enormous.
Shout out to
Yeah.
my daughter who's about to receive her first like true bike. I mean, we somebody was throwing one away about a year ago that we she didn't really use, but she's getting her first proper bike. I don't know how to wrap a bike, so if you know how to wrap a bike, it's too late.
You just put a bow on it. That's all you do. You hide it
Nah,
in a closet and
it's
roll it
over
out.
there. Not that you can see what over there is, but it's in the basement. And
She doesn't go snooping?
no,
I would
she
go
doesn't go
snooping for my
snooping. She
presents.
doesn't go snooping. But nonetheless, I'm completely off topic. It was a very influential movie at the time, and even more so is now. And I think the quotability is fantastic. Is it shot the best? No, the lighting is off. But I just I have to give it a 4-star rating. I love it.
It's another time capsule. Yeah, it's another time capsule of a movie that it just will never get something like this. It's like
Yeah.
a planes, trains kind of thing. It's just, I even go dare to say like nothing but trouble. Like you're never going to see a movie
No.
like that again.
Yeah.
Maybe for good reason, but yeah, I mean, it's a Christmas classic. It's right up there. We'll do Home Alone next year. But yeah, I agree. Four glasses.
Look at that.
Gotta
4 glasses.
Stop saying stars. 4 glasses.
4 glasses.
That's what we're
doing.
doing.
Glasses. Some of our stars are glasses. Some of our glasses are stars. That was fun. I'm starving. I've eaten nothing but some fermented grapes and 5 eggs today. I really need to get some food inside of me.
Get some food.
Why is your clock at 8:36? What is at 8:37? Is there a reference? Is there a clock that stops at that time? What happens then? What do you do? Did it stop once?
I got a weird like cryptic letter from this guy named Dave, and he said set your timer at this time and then take out the battery. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's what he told me to do. So
I have a lot of comments, but like, I don't even know what to ask anymore. But
then don't ask.
I do know what to ask.
I hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I hope you have a happy Christmas and eat lots of iceberg lettuce, and I hope it's enjoyable to you because it's enjoyable because of the blue cheese and bacon bits. Those two combination on anything, of course, it's going to be good. Eat paper with it.
No, that's what I'm saying. The iceberg is just a vehicle for those things.
Then why don't you put it
I mean?
on your dick and eat it? Like, what are we talking about here? It's outrageous. Just if it's a vehicle, like just because it's a vehicle, like add it to a vehicle. What are we talking about? Anyway,
I mean, that's our show.
Good luck and
Merry
goodbye.
Christmas.